Okay, I apologize for that, viewers. What I'm going to have to do is going to have to be a two-part video, of course, I guess, unless I can merge them. I don't know. I'm still new to the YouTube channel thing, so I'll check it out. But if not, it'll be a two-part video. Apparently my iPhone storage was full, so it would not let me record any more than what I did. So I had to go in and erase some stuff so I can start recording the second part to the video. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I was hoping this light bulb, because I didn't have any more of these nuts, and I could have went and bought some, but I just had it. What's the point? I was trying to get it to go down in there, but it wouldn't, so I just put Loctite on it there and Loctite on it there. So that holds the bulb to the back of her head, and it works. It looks cool. I mean, it's fine. She's a real simple. Took me like 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops, maybe. Well, about 10 minutes, because I try to let everything dry decently before I start moving her around or turning her over. I mean, they're all sturdy. I mean, almost every little bot I make, once you put Loctite on something, people are like, somebody said, why do you glue stuff on it? Well, you know, when it comes to these junk bots, now the other bot that I'm going to start building is going to be all metal. There's going to be a lot of drilling. There's going to be nuts and bolts and fastening and arms moving. There's going to be very little Loctite, if any, except maybe to something visually, maybe on the chest of the bot or something like that, but that needs it, that you can't drill or screw in or anything like that. But when you're dealing with little plastic, the camera, phone chargers, that film meter has selenium in it, and it's sealed. There's no screws on it at all, so I didn't want to drill into that. Plus it's so damn small, I didn't want to crack it either, because it was the only one the guy had, and it came from somewhere outside of Seattle in Washington. I don't know, somewhere near Seattle. That's where it came from. He only had one, so I didn't want to drill it. Same thing with that, especially that. I mean, come on. That is so narrow and fragile, you know. And there were places on, and I'll go over him in the next video too, in another video. There's so many places that the only one I could have possibly drilled on would have probably been Gilmore, excuse me, Gilmore back there. But that is a plastic body. It has kind of a metal, cheap aluminum rim around it. Well, it's not cheap, but you know, but still. But there's no point to drill there, because I don't need to drill there. The part I needed was plastic. Yeah, I could have, but I don't have a drill and all that stuff, or a workbench, or tons of stuff. Like I said, this is very, very. I just got off the ground back in November, and I'm still working on getting the workbench, and I need the big roller storage bin that has like 70 storage trays in it that you can get at Harbor Freight, and I need that, and I need a hand drill, one of the cordless drills for the little fine things that I'm going to do as far as metal on the new bot that I'm working on. But anyway, you know, you can't really do a lot of that stuff to this, but she was really simple. She was really simple, and her name is Rosie. So there's not really much more to say about her. And since the video is only like 15 minutes to this point, I think the first part was 11 minutes. This one's 320 something so far, and still counting. So I think what I'll do is I'll go over another little small bot. Let's take Sonny right here. I'm sure we're going to get to all of them, but not all in one video. But since these two are so easy and so small, I'll go ahead and discuss him. But he's really simple. He took a little bit longer, because getting those legs bent, and I'll go over that in a second, but getting those legs bent was a little bit tougher, and he did stand on his own without this, but this really works well. I'll go over that in a second too, as it just works. I'll discuss that. But anyway, his body is a Samsung phone charger. And if you look, I mean, that's what it is. Those are the plugs, and I bent them outwards, and that's the body. And somewhere, on the arm is where that plugged in. Like, that's actually plugged in. His arm will come out. Yeah, let me see if I can do it, because I'm holding this, and see, his arm comes out. So now you can see, well, a little bit, phone charger. But see if I could put him back in. Sorry about that. It's in there pretty good. But that goes in. That's his right arm. And of course, this cord was from the same charger I used that same cord for Rosie, and I had another one, and I used it for Gilmore. I don't think anybody else has. I bought those. I bought that wiring for him, and of course Stanley has none. But Sonny here has a lot of the same little parts, but these are cool because these are alligator clips that I bought. They make great robot hands, and his little backstory, kind of like he was an electrician. He works on. He was a like a tech for the band Rush, because I was working on him one night listening to Rush, and I was like, he kind of looks like he's from Toronto or Canada. Looks like he would be a roadie fixing on electronics or something. So that kind of fell into place. But like I said, all the backstories are on Facebook. All that stuff you can read. And if you can't find it, you can leave a message if you happen to go on there and see it. And because I'm gonna do a thing shortly, and like a photo album, I'm gonna list them all and all their stories in one place, so it'll be easy to find. Because it's more interesting when you kind of look. It brings them to life more. I mean, they have personalities out the yin yang, or whatever that expression, however that goes, out the wazoo. They have tons of character, every single one of them, especially him. So does she. She looks like she's, I don't know. But they all have character. People love him. They say he looks like Bender, which is cool. I never thought about that while I was doing him, but when he got done, Bender kind of got that face. But anyway, this is Sonny. His body is the Samsung phone charger. I just called him Sonny because it just seemed to fit. Samsung, Son. I don't know. It just seemed to fit. There's no really Sonny in there, but they just worked. The robots will kind of tell you what their names are going to be. This is what's funny. It's kind of weird. It's kind of odd at the same, it's kind of, I feel like Toulon from the Puppet Master. I create these little things, if anybody was coming, I'd try to hide them into the wall, and then they would take revenge if somebody offed me or whatever. I don't know, that's what I feel like sometimes, but all their names just kind of come to them. Some of them because they're on the bot itself. Like I could have called him Matt for Instamatic camera, but the name didn't fit. Stanley fits him. So you see what I'm saying? Not all the time does the name have to be on the bot, like this little guy. But like I said, those alligator clips, I bought those. There were like 2 in a pack. So a black one and a red one. So you can use them for, battery charge or whatever. And when I bend his feet out, and I'm going to pick him up so you can see him, and he's really sturdy. He's that Loctite. That Loctite is crazy strong. I bent his little feet out and stuck him on this, and without turning it over, I'll give you guys a few seconds if you're kind of looking like, what is that? Most of you already know. But if you guessed a lock, you would be correct. It's an old, and this is old. This piece right here is heavy. He's got a heavy base. It's an old Sargent key lock that goes inside, the whole mechanism that goes in the old, big, huge, thick wooden doors. And it's right when they started using, the cut keys and instead of skeleton keys, I guess. I'm not really a lock historian. They're out there. Lock historians, guys that know everything about safes and things like that. But it's an old Sargent lock. I took it out. And you'll hear, I don't want to, it's got a nice little, but his backstory too, I said he was an electrician for Rush. He worked on guitars and keyboards and all that stuff. But he wanted his little stage. So, all the world's indeed a stage, and Sonny's just merely a player, so he wanted his own little stage as well, so I gave him one. And he's so little, he needs something so he can stand up and have his opinion on things, and when he gets in the mood to sing or play or whatever, he's got his little pedestal, and it works great. There's so much balance on him. A lot of them I'm learning, that's a key thing about making found object robots. I need to tell you guys and I'm still learning too, there are guys out there who are really, really good at it and who have tons of resources. The key to this thing is to having an eye for it. You got to have the eye for it. And if you keep working with it, that kind of comes. You can kind of develop that. But I love science fiction, so I'm always seeing robots everywhere no matter what. So I'm always seeing robots, so you have the eye for it. And then, you start learning little things about balance and things like that. But you know, if you have the resources, when I get the resources, you're going to see some really, really cool found object robots that are going to be one of a kind and unique. Now the socket bots are going to be a little line of little creative bots all made out of that, but they'll all have their little personality too. But anyway, it's all about having the resources to do this stuff. And there's so many places. So many places. But back to him. There's his arm. I made a little arm joint, and I wish I could take it off, but I can't because it's Loctite, because you can't drill into this, of course. But there's a washer, a nut, and of course the wire connector. The connector on the terminal connector, excuse me, and another nut, and it's a little tight. And it can loosen it. His arm can swing up and down. I mean, there's nothing, I didn't Loctite the nut. I mean, his arms can move. A lot of the arms can move on some of those. Like, they can move on Lizzie, they can move on, Weston, Dexter, Doyle, a lot of them, well, not Doyle, but Gilmore. They, because they are Loctited on, but the joint still moves, so. But anyway, and this head is perfect. If you see it, it's just perfect. And if you look, he does have a mouth. See that under there? That's a big, huge washer. It's old. I found it in a box of stuff out in my garage, because I have a motorcycle, so we have lots of washers and little nuts and stuff. Of course, those little nuts didn't come off the motorcycle, but that washer, I think, came off the back of one of my springs. And it works. See how it kind of gives that mouth line? If you can see it in this light, the iPhones aren't the greatest, but it's not bad. But his head is perfect. I love that. It has that kind of, not R2-D2, but, oh geez, and I'm a Star Wars fanatic, and I just caught myself on the robot that Luke was going to buy, they were going to buy, and it blew up. It had a bad motivator. But see how that head, it has, that kind of droid look to it. And then the eyes are just little lock nuts, and they work perfectly. And I use them on Doyle as well, because they just fit. So maybe they're kin, who knows. But that's an incandescent, I think that's what they call them. An incandescent, the dimmer switch. The little dimmer switches you push on and you turn that makes the light in your living room or bedroom or bathroom or kitchen or what have you. Makes them dim. Or you can even cut them off if you push them in. That's what his head is made out of. And then, of course, there's a little nut there. And there's a tiny, tiny coiled spring that come out of eyes of like a radio part. Something from a radio or a cassette deck. And that's his antenna, because he does work on electronics. So when he's testing things, he needs to, have that antenna. But that's him. That's basically him. That's him in a nutshell. And I use Loctite on him, but it works. Because you can't drill that head to that body. You can't drill those arms into that body. You can't do anything. I mean, I keep wondering if people go, or, if they're thinking, why use glue so much? Well, Loctite, it works because it works. I use it. I try not to use it if I don't have to. But sometimes there's just no, And I'm sure there might be, I'm still learning, but I think it works great. But that's Sonny. And he goes right back over here where he always does. And I'm not real big on, I love the glass desk, but when it comes to setting these guys up, any vibration in the room and they start kind of just going across, they can't, I'll come in, I'll wake up in the morning and they're like over here, especially this little guy. It's weird. He'll be like over here. One night I caught him on the computer watching like Chappie or some video. I don't know what he was watching. Who knows? But anyway, that's a little bit about Sonny. Well, that was everything about Sonny. His backstory's on Facebook, and that's Rosie. I wanted to do, those are the two easiest ones. Well, and Cooper, and I talked about him earlier though. But that's the third video. This video had to be in two parts because I didn't want to have to re-record the first part of this video, which I hate to do that, but it is what it is. I don't stage my videos. I don't script them. I don't sit here and write out stuff. I might do that in some of the builds but I'm not going to sit here and script a video. I'm just going to kind of off the cuff because I think that's the best, because I'm just talking honestly about what I do, and I love doing what I do. And I started Red Menace Robotics, now RMR Robot Works. I started that out of the love for science fiction and creating, and I love creating these things. There's a zen quality to creating a found object robot. I don't know how a lot of other people that do found object robots, there doesn't seem to be a ton of them on YouTube for some reason, but I don't know. But I don't know how other artists feel when they create their particular art, whatever medium they're working in, whether it's robots or paint or drawing or what have you. But there's a very zen-like quality in doing these. When I'm doing these bots, creating these robots, especially the ones that he took the longest. Gilmore took the longest because he's so involved with wire, and he's got so many. And I handmade the antennas and the arms and the wires, And I know you guys are probably interested. Hopefully, people will be interested in their little stories or how I created them or what stuff's made out of. For these 10 initially, and there will be more, tons more. So now had the Etsy shop that I'm about to get open, and the Amazon shop, which is about to open. But all of these are for sale. If you go on my Facebook page, there's prices on there. But you could message me, and I'm not a stickler. I'm not going to try to stick people for tons of money. But I do put time and love and effort into them, and it's a creation, And most people, love to see their creations appreciated. So, but that's it for this video, the 2-part video. Just telling you a little bit about me and about my workshop and about Sonny and about Rosie. And next time, who knows, I might do Stanley next time, who knows. Or Gilmore. Could talk about him a lot because he was so involved. But until then, I appreciate the support. You can visit me on www.facebook.com/Red Menace Robotics, or on Instagram @Red Menace Robotics, or on YouTube. Of course, you can find me on YouTube at RMR Robot Works, and you can find me. It's really easy, and I'm on Tumblr as well. So, but I appreciate the support. Until the next video, we will see you later. And as always, be safe no matter what you're doing. Like I said, I ride a motorcycle, so if you ride a motorcycle, be safe no matter what your venture. So, have a good night.